Good evening. My name is John Fuscolo, and I proudly serve as principal of South Plainfield High School. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce and honor our retirees from South Plainfield High School this evening. But before I do, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank Dr. Tanzi, Ms. Meliska, and our Board of Education for honoring our retirees this evening, as well as their support throughout this school year, as well as to congratulate and thank all the other retirees for their years of service to the South Plainfield school system. Our first retiree from South Plainfield High School is Ms. Jackie Barton. Ms. Barton was a foreign language teacher at South Plainfield High School for a number of years. She worked both in a number of different settings, working with teachers in all capacities. She was an advocate for students in our ELL population. She worked with our Heritage program, as well as worked with our Spanish Communication and Culture program, which is great for a lot of our special education students and students first coming into this school district, especially if they're coming from out of district. Ms. Barton was active in our school community in a number of different ways, volunteering through clubs and activities, and really just a great person to be around. So Mrs. Barton, thank you for all of your time and efforts. She actually retired earlier in the year, so she hasn't been with us for the majority of the year, but her presence was felt throughout her time, and thank you for all of your time and service to the community. Our next retiree is Miss Marie Bennick. Ms. Bennick has been with us for a very long time at the high school. She spent a very full career over in our counseling office, working with students and our counseling staff in a number of different capacities. Mrs. Bennick will be remembered for her warm demeanor and welcome for students, as well as her ability to work within the many confines and help run that counseling office in collaboration with a number of different people throughout her time here. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Bennick for all that she's done and her contributions to this school community, and she'll be severely missed. Our next retiree is Miss Dolly Gluss. Miss Gluss has been a science teacher at the high school for over the last 15 to 20 years. Miss Gluss is a staple in our science department. She has taught everything from chemistry to integrated science to physics. Mrs. Gluss has been able to reach countless number of children, working with them using her personality and the different types of things she worked with in the classroom to help all of her students to succeed. As a staff member, she's the first person to ask a question that'll benefit a kid. She's one of the first persons that'll advocate for her children in any way, shape, or form. She was just such a warm presence to have within the building. We're really going to miss Miss Gluss and wish her best in moving forward in her next endeavor. Our next retiree is Miss Alyssa Pecora. Miss Pecora taught in our English department for a number of years. I actually remember Miss Pecora as a student. We knew that she was incredibly stringent on her students. She made sure that they were pulling the best out of them. And from that time to this time, serving as her principal, that has not changed. She's a mentor to teachers. She is a standard in which we all want to go off. We're really going to miss Miss Pecora. I will share one tidbit about Miss Pecora. One project she did that I know a lot of my classmates and other South Plainfield alumni really did appreciate is when they were a senior, they wrote a letter to themselves 4 years later. And it was a lot of fun. I remember getting together with a bunch of my friends after we graduated college, and we all started receiving those letters from our high school selves. And the things that we talked about, our goals, our aspirations, it was just a really fun project that I know countless South Plainfield High School seniors have appreciated. And I know even within my circle of friends, we really got a lot of really fun smiles on it. And even every now and then, every 4 or 5 years, we'll open them back up and take a look at them again. So thank you, Ms. Pecora, for that keepsake. Our next retiree is Ms. Terry Pileggi. Mrs. Pileggi served as a secretary in a variety of capacities over at the high school. She was secretary to the principal for a number of years before she moved over to the counseling department, and she worked directly with the director of counseling and helped out in those capacities. Mrs. Pileggi has been a force within the high school throughout her time, and we can't be more thankful enough for her diligence, the amount of work she put in, her understanding of how the building runs, and how she trained pretty much everyone into different positions to help them as this building continues to move forward. Mrs. Pileggi has put countless hours towards our students and staff, and this building's a better place for her having been here. Our next retiree, Miss Kathleen Riley. Miss Kathleen Riley was a counselor within our school for a number of years. Miss Riley helped countless students get through a number of different situations. She was a strong advocate and worked with our ELL and ML populations. She's worked specifically with students to make sure they're achieving their dreams. And I can't tell you how many people who have had Mrs. Riley as an alumni and they're still in contact with her. She's still helping them out. She's still counseling them. She's still giving them career advice, and she does it to this day. I'll still get a text from Miss Riley even after she's retired, mentioning a couple things, talking about her former students and the moves, and I really appreciate those texts. Please keep them coming, Miss Riley. We miss you here, and thank you for all that you've done. Our final retiree is Miss Carol Ullum. Miss Ullum is a longtime nurse at South Plainfield High School. Miss Ullum is a staple. She understands everything that goes around the building. Everything runs so smoothly, and it's because of the years of standards and practices that's based on her expertise to help us out to make the school a better and safer place. Throughout the pandemic, Miss Ullum was a rock for us in every way, shape, or form. She was someone that we were talking to constantly, keeping us up to date with the safest procedures to go with, and really was just a lot of help in every way, shape, or form, and is one of the big reasons why we were able to be as successful navigating our way through the pandemic. So thank you, Ms. Ullum, for everything you've done in your capacity, and good luck as you move forward in your next endeavor. I want to thank everyone again for all of their time and efforts that they put in towards making the high school a better place. Again, congratulations to all the retirees this evening. You have left an incredible legacy on our school community, staff, and students. You will be missed, but don't be strangers. Thank you and take care, everyone.
I have had the pleasure of knowing Ms. Smith for the 20 years that she has been working in the South Plainfield School District. It has always been a pleasure to know that Ms. Smith was working in my school as a paraprofessional. What is a paraprofessional? A paraprofessional is a teaching assistant who provides instructional services to students under the general supervision of a certified teacher. A paraprofessional works with children individually or in small groups to provide a basic instruction of reading, writing, math, or other educational related activities. Ms. Smith has been the example of dedication and professionalism, always going above and beyond to ensure the needs of her students are met with care and compassion. Whether it was providing academic support, lending a listening ear, or simply offering a comfortable presence, she has touched the lives of countless children in ways that words cannot capture. Her unwavering commitment to our students is a testament to her character and to the values that she embodies. Day in and day out, she worked tirelessly to create a nurturing, supportive environment where all children felt valued, respected, and empowered to succeed. As Ms. Smith has embarked on this new chapter of her life, I know that she will carry with her the love, gratitude, and appreciation of everyone whose life she has touched. While she may be retired from her role as a paraprofessional, her legacy will live on in countless lives that she has impacted. On behalf of the entire school community, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Ms. Smith for her years of service, dedication, and unwavering commitment to our students. Congratulations on your retirement. May this new chapter be filled with joy, laughter, and all the happiness that you deserve. When I first came to the South Plainfield Middle School, I learned very quickly that Ms. Cacho was somebody I could count on. I learned that she was a hardworking and determined educator who always had the best interest of her students and the middle school in mind when she made her decisions. Ms. Cacho's enthusiasm and positive rapport with her students and staff at the middle school was missed when she retired in November. Her positive personality was contagious and motivated her students to want to do well in her classes. Throughout her time here, Ms. Cacho closely monitored her students to be sure that she was able to identify the weaknesses of her students and work with them to improve their motivation and understanding in each of her classes. I think the true value of Ms. Cacho's career was a connection that she made with her students. In November, right before she retired, we had a student staff volleyball game at night here at the middle school gym. A group of her students asked her to be on her team, and she accepted. The smiles on their faces and on her face that evening and the fun that they had exemplified her passion for them. Ms. Cacho, as you embark on this new chapter of your life, we want to acknowledge the countless lives you have touched and the indelible mark that you have made here at the South Plainfield Middle School. You are deeply missed. Congratulations on your retirement. I have had the privilege of working with and knowing Ms. Holtz for the entire time that I have been working here in the South Plainfield school system. When I started here at Grant School, she was teaching there. And now we are both finishing together at the middle school. When I started here in South Plainfield, being new to the district, I had a lot of names I needed to learn. I do have to admit that I did not realize that her name was Miss Holtz for the first few months that we were working here. For the longest time, I thought her name was Miss Wilson. It's not my fault. Whenever someone would talk about Miss Holtz, they would say something like, the student needs to be in Wilson. And they were talking about Miss Holtz's class. Or they would say something like, we need to change the student schedule so that they get Wilson. I had no idea they were talking about the Wilson Reading Program and not Miss Holtz, who teaches the Wilson Reading Program. Throughout her time here in South Plainfield, Ms. Holtz has made an impact on the lives of many students. To demonstrate this, I want to share part of a letter that I found in Ms. Holtz's personnel file. It reads, the South Plainfield school system should consider themselves extremely fortunate to have Ms. Holtz on their staff. Our family will always remember Ms. Holtz as the educator who made the difference in our child's learning experience. This is just one of many examples of the dedication and the effort that Ms. Holtz has put in her career here at South Plainfield. The staff day at the middle school ends at 2:50 each day, but you'll never see Ms. Holtz leaving at that time. She will usually be leaving after 4 p.m. because she is preparing her lessons for her students. Her tireless effort has not only helped to educate her students, but it also has inspired them to believe in themselves. Ms. Holtz, congratulations on your retirement. We wish you all the joy, fulfillment, and relaxation that you so richly deserve. Thank you for your unwavering dedication, determination, and devotion to the students of South Plainfield. You will be deeply missed. I met Ms. Flasser in 2003 when I became the assistant principal at Grant School, and Ms. Flasser was one of many teachers that moved to Grant School with the addition of the 5th grade class to the school. When she first came to Grant School, she was assigned to the special education department, but was then moved to 5th grade general education, where she used her expertise in math and science to instruct the students. Fast forward to 2020. I have the privilege of working with Ms. Flasser again at the middle school as a special education teacher. Ms. Flasser's classroom has always been a place of warmth and acceptance, where every student feels valued and supported. Her ability to connect with her students on a personal level has had a lasting impact on their lives, helping them to overcome challenges and to reach their fullest potential. In the realm of special education, the role of special education teacher is exceptionally critical. Ms. Flasser has embraced this role with acceptance, grace, and empathy. Her individual approach to each student's unique needs has fostered an environment where learning and growth are always within reach. Her tireless effort has not only educated, but has also inspired her students to believe in themselves. Ms. Flasser, we wish you all the best in your well-deserved retirement. Thank you for your incredible contribution to the South Plainfield community. You will be deeply missed. Congratulations on your retirement.
Good evening, Dr. Tanzi and members of the Board of Education. Tonight, I have the pleasure to speak about Mr. Mark Tweed, who is retiring after 35 years of teaching, 29 of those in South Plainfield schools. Mr. Tweed has led our bands at the high school, grade school, and elementary schools. Mr. Tweed is a passionate educator who has always kept a student's first mentality. We would often have conversations where he would say, I will put my band against any band in state and know they'll come out on top. Mr. Tweed has influenced many lives through his long tenure in South Plainfield through music. His students and the staff at Grant School will sincerely miss him and the music coming out of room 46. Congratulations, Mr. Tweed, on your retirement. I also want to take the time to congratulate all the other retirees being honored tonight. I wish you all a happy and healthy retirement. Thank you and have a great night.
Good evening. I am Shannon Colucci, principal of Franklin School, here tonight to talk about our retiree, Mrs. Ann Simone. As our school year comes to an end, our extraordinary secretary, Mrs. Ann Simone, is preparing to close her career in any chapter of Franklin's history. Mrs. Simone has spent nearly 3 decades as a Franklin parent, PTO member, paraprofessional, and secretary. Her involvement at Franklin began in 1995 when her oldest son started kindergarten, and she helped at class parties and PTO-sponsored events. In 1999, Anne began working as a paraprofessional, supporting teachers and students in their classrooms and sharing her tremendous artistic abilities, creating student gifts, decorations, and as a part of the Veterans Day event planning staff. After 16 and a half years as a paraprofessional, Anne traded in the classroom to work in the Franklin main office. For 8.5 years now, Anne has worked as Franklin School's secretary. She is the keeper of the castle, a one-woman show, or as they lovingly refer to her, the boss of Franklin School. Every one of us in the school has an important role, but Anne is the lifeline and heart of our building. Anne treats everyone with care and warmth. She is a pillar of support for every person who comes through those doors. In terms of her role as secretary, Anne has dissected copy machines with surgical precision to get progress flowing again, issued ice packs and Band-Aids for boo-boos, multitasked adequately to answer 2 phones, the door buzzer, a student at her desk, and a teacher asking a question while using the copier. As a beloved colleague, Anne is counted on to overcome hidden obstacles, provide our staff with levity and balance throughout the day. She has encouraged us all countless times to be the very best we can. Anne Simone is a role model for commitment and service. She has impacted nearly 3 decades of Franklin families through her dedication and kindness. Retirement is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of the open highway. And I know Anne is looking forward to hitting this open road, traveling to our national parks and some international locations of interest. Anne, on behalf of the entire Franklin School community, we congratulate you on your retirement. We hope that you and your family will look back on your years at Franklin with fondness. May your retirement be filled with good health, happiness, and beautiful memories of your travels. We wish you all the best in this new chapter of your life. To the South Plainfield 2023-24 retirees, best wishes and good health to you in the future. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Sam Fiera. I am the principal here at Roosevelt Elementary School, a fantastic school at that. And this year, we have 3 staff members who have been cornerstones of this building retiring this year. And I would like to tell you who they are and say a little bit of things about them. The first 2 that we're going to talk about are both kindergarten teachers. So the first kindergarten teacher is Mrs. Jan Campagna. And Mrs. Campagna has been in this school as a kindergarten teacher, I believe, for over 20 years. And she's taught other things other than kindergarten. She was first, she was second, I believe she was even 4th grade for a little while. So she's played a lot of different roles in this school and has raised her family here in this town, is a South Plainfield resident, and has done a fantastic job for us all of these years as a teacher in this building. We will be very sad to see her go. So best of luck to you, Mrs. Campagna. Also retiring, another across the hall, a colleague of hers in the kindergarten wing, is Mrs. Pat Santillo. Mrs. Santillo has also been in this district for well over 20 years. And Mrs. Santillo, whenever I think of her, I think of the students that she's had the last couple of years who were definitely some of the most challenging, some of the most active, energetic, and whereas most people would not be able to withstand those kind of behaviors for long, she was the most patient and loving teacher that I've seen, and she shocked me at her patience level, and she was a perfect kindergarten teacher. And I know she has a lot of plans in her retirement, and she's got a lot of things left to do. She's in great shape. Even though she may not be teaching, we hope to see her back here at some point in some capacity doing things because she's that talented. So good luck to you, Mrs. Santillo. And finally, when I talk about a cornerstone, there is no other cornerstone or anyone who is more Roosevelt than our next retiree, and that is our nurse. Mrs. Peggy DeAndrea. She was the nurse at Roosevelt School across the way when it was Roosevelt Elementary School, which is now our board office. So she opened this school and has been the only school nurse that this Roosevelt building had ever known. And she has a work ethic that is second to none. When I would get here in the morning, she had been here an hour. When I leave here at night, and I leave here at night late, like sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock, she's still here, and she was an hour after me. She dedicated to her job, dedicated to her craft of being a nurse. And as a principal, I just loved the fact that I never had to worry a day about anything in that health department because she was on it. And she was just so good, so good. She's a throwback. You know, she's one of a kind. They don't make, they broke the mold when they made her as far as school nurses. So another little known fact that you may not know unless you work here with her is she's probably one of the best bakers in the United States. She could enter competition. So although she's healthy, the things she makes are not so healthy and make the rest of us large. So since she's retired, we've all lost a few pounds. Thank you for that, Peggy. So congratulations to you. Hope you enjoy your retirement. I know you could be moving out of state and being close to your children and your grandchildren and doing the things that you need to do now in the second half of your life. So gonna miss you a great deal, and we already do. So thank you very much, and congratulations to our 3 retirees here at Roosevelt School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Coughlin, and I am the principal at Riley. Tonight I have the honor of speaking about Miss Margaret Panzarella. Marge has dedicated over 27 years of her life to the South Plainfield School District as both a bus aide and a duty aide here at Riley. I want to take a moment to thank Marge for her absolute dedication to our students and the kindness that she brought to her position. I can tell you she had a positive impact on our students simply because of the last day here when we announced to the students that she was retiring, and just about every single one of them had to come up and give her a hug. So Marge, from all of us at Riley, thank you for your time here, thank you for your dedication in South Plainfield, and enjoy your retirement.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Benanti, and tonight I have the pleasure of honoring Deb Schroeder for her retirement. Deb worked here for 27 years, and over that time, she probably had 27 bosses, but she was a true constant in our office. She's truly seen it all. On top of being an outstanding employee, Deb is one of the nicest, most genuine people I have ever met. She's also famous for bringing in birthday cakes whenever someone has a birthday. She has continued that job in retirement, and as I see it, she's got that job for life. We all miss you, and please don't be a stranger. I also want to take a moment to congratulate all the staff on their retirement this year. Have a good night.
Good evening. I'm Andy Brandon, one of the 2 directors of Special Services. It is an honor for me to talk to you tonight about Sue Alexander on behalf of myself and also Joanne Ryan, the other director of Special Services. Joanne and I have both known Sue for over 5 years while we have been working in the South Plainfield School District. We've had the honor of getting to know Sue fairly well and know that above everything else, she puts her family first, which is why you can now find her babysitting multiple days a week for her grandchildren. Every morning, I would come into the office and we'd chit chat with Sue about family, how her weekend was. And we always had something positive to share, sometimes something not so positive to share. It was really an honor for me to get to know Sue and to work with her for the past 5 years. When I learned that Sue was going to retire, I went into an immediate frenzy because I couldn't figure out how I would ever replace her. Sue had normal, regular office tasks, which she did day in and day out. However, she also had to deal with me coming into the office more regularly than I would like to say and saying, we have this project we have to do. Stop everything else now. We need to do this. And Sue would, without a flinch, without hesitating, move from one thing to the next seamlessly. She truly has been a great support to both me and Joanne during the time that we've worked with her. we have truly missed Sue, and what she's brought to the office, and wish her the best in her retirement. Hopefully, in addition to watching her grandkids, she's able to do some of the things that she imagined doing in her retirement. Sue, if you're wondering who the crazy person waving at you during your walks in town is, it's me. I sometimes still see Sue going on her walks through town, and I wave to her every time. I'm not really sure if she knows it's me or not. So again, Sue, it's me. But seriously, we wish you all the best in everything that you do during your retirement. I know you've already stopped in to visit us once. Feel free to come back anytime. If you'd like to do some of the Medicaid billing, you're more than welcome to hop in a seat and take care of that as well. So again, we wish you the best in everything that you do.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mary Maliska, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction for the South Plainfield Schools. I have the pleasure of recognizing Anu Garrison for her retirement from the South Plainfield School District after a 22-year tenure. For those of you who don't know, teaching is a second career for Mrs. Garrison. She graduated from Rutgers with a Bachelor in Science in Computer Science. This is also where she met her husband of 37 years, Len. Mrs. Garrison earned her Master of Science degree in mathematics at Fairleigh Dickinson University and worked as a computer programmer at IBM for 6 years before taking time off to raise her 3 beautiful daughters, Serena, Stephanie, and Alexa. She couldn't stay away from math for too long, however, and worked as an adjunct professor at Caldwell College and Rutgers University and as a math tutor, while technically being a stay-at-home mom. These experiences sparked a deeper interest in education, leading Mrs. Garrison to apply to the South Plainfield School District as an alternate route math teacher in 2002. In her time as a math teacher at the high school, Mrs. Garrison was the National Honor Society advisor, the first teacher to utilize a smartboard, and the first to incorporate a live data student response instructional component through the use of iClickers. In 2016, Mrs. Garrison was promoted to Director of Curriculum, where she continued to enhance the district's use of data-driven instruction, primarily by expanding the district's Linkit pilot to a district-wide benchmarking and assessment tool. In addition to this, she has meticulously managed the Title I grant, planning student and family programming to support historically underperforming groups of students. Anu, you have been instrumental in district-wide curriculum and program development. I'm going to miss your innate ability to crunch the numbers, create correlation charts, and think strategically and mathematically and systematically. I hope you enjoy your retirement by spending time with your 3 grandchildren, Chase, Cameron, and Kaya, and enjoy long stays at your home in Bradley. Congratulations on a well-deserved retirement.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to take a few moments to honor and celebrate Mr. Leo Whalen on his retirement from the South Plainfield School District. Mr. Whalen has been a dedicated member of our community since 2003 after a 15-year tenure in the North Brunswick School District, where he began his career as a physical education teacher and later served as assistant to the principal. Mr. Whalen's journey with us started as an assistant principal of Grant School, and in 2005, he was promoted to principal, a role he held until 2011. He then became principal of the Riley Elementary School, a position he occupied until 2019. Afterwards, he assumed the leadership of the South Plainfield Middle School, where he continues, well, at least until August 1st of this year anyway. Mr. Whalen has consistently put students first, making fair and thoughtful decisions that earned him the respect of both students and parents. He was known for his transparent communication, always taking the time to explain his rationale and help students understand the importance of his decisions. His focus on improving classroom instruction and advocating for his faculty and staff have been unwavering, ensuring they had the necessary support to help students succeed. Mr. Whalen has also contributed significantly outside of the classroom, serving on various committees such as the Peace Committee, multiple personnel committees, and the Curriculum Council, to name just a few. He was a proud executive member of the Administrators Association, serving as president for 10 years. He is known for his willingness to support and mentor others, providing opportunities for future leaders to shine during professional development, sessions, and PLCs. Now Mr. Whalen looks forward to enjoying his well-deserved retirement with his wife of 32 years, Diana. Truth be told, they are together 40 years, real high school sweethearts. His 3 wonderful sons, Ashton, Leo, and Joe, his just like a daughter, Brittany, and his daughter-in-law, Alyssa. Once retired, if you need to reach Leo, you might try down at his shore house or serving as a deputy chief at the North Brunswick Fire Department, where he has volunteered since he was 18 years old. On a personal note, Leo, your colleagues and I will miss you greatly. You have been a fountain of knowledge, offering valuable insight on district history, educational programs, and advice on handling delicate situations. We've shared many conversations about family, milestones, and retirement dreams. Leo, your retirement looks pretty nice. I wish you nothing but health and happiness in the next chapter, and don't be surprised if you hear from us sooner than you expect. Congratulations, Leo, and thank you for your incredible service and dedication.